Look, everyone tells you to just relax or stop trying so hard. Rubbish. Have they met your brain? That's like telling a hurricane to just be breezy. And you know the feeling I'm talking about. It's not even the first layer of anxiety that gets you. It's not the worry about the bill or the awkward conversation or the future. That's just weather. The real suffering comes from the second layer, the meta-anxiety. The anxiety about your anxiety. It's that voice that whispers, "Why can't you just let this go? Everyone else seems fine. What is wrong with you?" And suddenly you're not just anxious, you're now failing at not being anxious. It's a spiral. You're now anxious, and you're angry at yourself for being anxious, which of course just adds more fuel to the fire. So, what do? You do what everyone tells you to do. You download the app. You sit on the cushion. You try to meditate. You try to watch your thoughts. You try to just accept the feeling. And how does that go? It's torture, isn't it? Because you're sitting there, clenching your fists, trying so damn hard to accept. You're trying to let go. You're trying to be present. It's like having a terrible itch. And someone tells you, just stop trying not to scratch it. It's impossible. The very act of trying to let it be just focuses your entire universe onto that one agonizing spot. Meditation becomes just another job you're failing at. Letting go becomes the heaviest thing you've ever tried to lift. And here's the truth, mate. The truth they don't put in the mindfulness pamphlets. You're failing because you've been set up to fail. You've been sold this idea that your mind is a machine, and if you just find the right button, the right technique, the right mantra, you can find the off switch. You're looking for the control panel, the stop thinking button, and your entire life has become this desperate, frantic search for a button that simply does not exist. And the harder you look for it, the more you try to press it, the worse everything gets. The hurricane just gets stronger. The itch becomes unbearable. But what if the problem isn't the hurricane? What if the problem is that you think you're the one who's supposed to control it? So why does this stop trying advice backfire so catastrophically? Why does it feel so impossible? It's because the entire self-help industry and society really has sold you a fundamental lie about who you actually are. And that lie is this. It's the idea that there are two of you inside your own head. Think about it. We've been culturally conditioned to believe this. There is you, the real you, the CEO, the pilot, the rational engineer, sitting up in the control room. And then, completely separate, there is your machine. Your stuff. Your thoughts, your anxiety, your sadness, your anger. We've been taught to see these things as fundamentally other. They are the broken car. And the only job you've ever been given is to be the mechanic. We treat our minds exactly like a faulty engine. We pop the hood every morning, let out a big sigh, and say, right, what's wrong with it today? The engine, your anxiety, is running way too hot. The steering, your focus, keeps pulling hard to the left. The radio, your inner critic, is stuck on full volume, playing the same 3 terrible songs on a loop. So, you get out the toolbox. And your main tool, the one you use for everything, is trying. You try to fix it. You try to force the engine to cool down. You try to wrench the steering wheel back to center. You try to beat the radio with your fist to make it shut up. This is the great illusion. The only game in town, according to society. Your entire life is defined by this one single task. Fix yourself. The entire multi-billion-dollar self-help industry is built on this very premise. It just sells you shinier tools. Buy this 5-step wrench. Try this new mindfulness oil for the engine. Attend this weekend seminar on how to rewire the car's electronics. Every book, every podcast, every guru is essentially operating on the assumption that you are a lousy mechanic. And if you just tried harder, or bought a better tool, or learned a new technique, you could finally get this hunk of junk, your mind, to run properly. You have been taught from your first day of school to see yourself as a project to be fixed. You are not a person. You are a problem to be solved. And mate, it's exhausting. It's a 24/7 job. You can never ever clock out. Because the moment you stop trying to fix it, the car starts sputtering and smoking. And that second layer of anxiety we talked about comes right back. Why aren't you fixing it? Get back to work. We are so deep inside this illusion, so busy trying to fix the machine, that we never stop to ask the most obvious, simple, and utterly game-changing question. Who exactly is holding the wrench? Who is this I that is trying to fix my thoughts? Who is this engineer that feels so separate from the engine? When you really look, when you stop grabbing at the toolbox for just 1 second and genuinely, honestly look, you realize something terrifying. And then you realize something liberating. You realize that the engineer who is desperately trying to fix the machine is just another part of the machine. When that clicks, the whole game collapses. This is the profound truth, the great reframe that Alan Watts was pointing at. And frankly, it's the high point of this entire conversation, because this is the moment the prison door swings open. Here is the great reframe from Watts, and it's everything. You are not in control of your thoughts because you are the thoughts. You don't have feelings, you are the feeling. Let that sink in for a second. There is no little CEO, no ghost in the machine, no inner engineer in the control room who is separate from the anxiety machine. The engineer who shows up with the wrench, the one who says, I must stop this anxiety, this is terrible, I have to fix this, that guy is the anxiety. It is just more anxiety masquerading as a solution. It's the anxiety of needing to control the anxiety. This is why you can't win. This is why you've been failing all this time. You cannot use fire to put out fire. You cannot use an anxious thought, which is exactly what the thought I must stop thinking is, to extinguish another anxious thought. It is a perfect, closed loop. It is impossible. As Watts would say, you are trying to get your teeth to bite themselves. You are trying to get your brain to outwit itself, to pin itself to the ground. You're trying to get your hand to grab itself. Here, try this. Seriously. Clench your right fist. Get it nice and tight. Now, using only your right fist, try to unclench it. Try to use the clench to create the unclench. You can't, can you? You can't use the very tension itself to create relaxation. You just end up clenching harder. That is what you are doing every single time you try to relax, every time you try to meditate, every time you try to let go. This is the overthinker's tragedy. You have a brilliant, powerful, problem-solving mind. And so, when it senses a problem like anxiety or sadness, it does the only thing it knows how to do. It tries to solve it. It tries to fix it. But in this one specific area, the fixing is the problem. The effort is the tension. The trying is the suffering. The engineer and the broken engine are one and the same. So, what happens if you just stop? What if you just drop the wrench? What if you finally, truly, admit that there is no engineer, there is no fixer, there's just the engine, there's just the noise, there's just the feeling, there is just this. This is a massive shift, I know. It's the exact opposite of what you've been told your entire life. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever felt that? That feeling like you and your anxiety are two separate armies at war inside your head. Just share that feeling. All right. Right. So, I am the noise. I am the anxiety. Got it. Great theory, mate. It sounds profound. But what do I do with that? How does that actually help me at 3:17 inches the morning when my heart is pounding and my brain is screaming about an email I sent in 2014? What then? And this is the exact point where almost every other inspirational, poetic video on this topic just stops. They give you the beautiful abstract metaphor, you are the river, you are the sky. Just float. And they just leave you there. Rubbish. That's not helpful, that's not practical. That's a lovely poem, but it's not a tool. You came here for an answer, not just a feeling. This is where we go deeper. This is the how-to. So, let's get practical. This is what I call the circuit breaker technique. And straight up, let's be clear. This is not a magic spell. This isn't a 5-minute hack that will make your brain go quiet forever. Nonsense. This is a practice. It's a genuine practical exercise in awareness, stitched together from Watts' core teachings on the ego. It's what you do instead of trying to grab the wrench. It's 3 steps. Right. So it's 3:17 a.m. The hurricane is here. The first thought arrives, I'm going to lose my job. Or I'm a fraud. Or why did I say that thing in 2014? The anxiety flares up, the engine starts smoking. Here's step one. You do nothing. You don't fight it. You don't fix it. You don't indulge it. You just label it. You just notice it. Ah, there it is. The worry process is now running. That's it. You just note it the same way you'd note the weather. Ah, it's raining. You are not trying to stop the rain. You are not angry at the rain. You are not failing because it's raining. You are simply observing it is raining. Now, this is the most important part. Almost immediately, a split second later, a second thought is going to show up. And that thought is the engineer. That thought is the fixer. That thought says, oh God, I can't be feeling this. I have to stop this. This is bad. I should be sleeping. Try harder to relax. This is the moment the circuit overloads. This is the real source of the friction. So, you do the exact same thing. Step 2, you spot the fixer. You label that thought too. Ah, and there it is. The trying to fix it process is now running. You see, it's just more noise. It's a smoke alarm going off. Because the first smoke alarm is going off. It's not helping. It's just making more of a racket. When you just see it as more noise, not as you giving yourself a sacred command, it loses its power. You've seen the trick, and that leads to step 3. This is the circuit breaker itself. You've labeled the worry. You've labeled the fixer, who is also a worry. Now what? You become the listener. You stop being the engineer trying to fix the engine. You stop being the engine that's broken, and you just become the space in which all that noise is happening. You just listen. Alan Watts used this beautiful analogy with music. He said, you don't listen to a piece of music just to get to the end, right? The point of a song isn't the final note. The point of the song is the song. The point of dancing isn't to arrive at a certain spot on the floor. The point of dancing is the dance. So, listen to the whole chaotic mess in your head. Listen to the 3 a.m. anxiety. Listen to the fixer panicking about the anxiety. Listen to your heart pounding. Don't judge it. Don't try to change the tune. Don't try to fix the music. Just listen to it. Be the audience for your own ridiculous, noisy, spectacularly human symphony. And here's what happens. It's not magic. The noise might not even stop. The rain might keep raining. But by dropping the wrench, by stopping the trying, you have cut the friction. The suffering wasn't the noise. The suffering was the war you were waging against the noise. The suffering was the engineer believing he was failing. When you just listen, when you just observe, the engineer vanishes. The fixer is seen for what it is, just more noise. The clenching fist just stops clenching. There's still sound, yes, but there's no more battle, there's no more suffering, there's just the weather. This, mate, is a practice, it is not a fix. You'll have to do it 1,000 times, and that's okay, because this practice isn't designed to lead you to some blissed-out silent mind. It's not about fixing you. It's about leading you to something far more profound, far more liberating than that. It leads to true absolution. And that absolution is this. The goal was never to fix you. The entire point of all of this, the great liberating secret at the heart of Watts' philosophy, is that you were never broken to begin with. We're so deep in the self-improvement game that we've all been chasing this ghost, this image of a fixed self, a calm self, an enlightened self, a finished self. The other videos, the poetic ones, they'll tell you you are already enough. And that sounds lovely, doesn't it? But for an overthinker, that's just more rubbish. It's become the new just relax. It's just another impossible standard. Am I really enough? How do I know? What if I'm not enough tomorrow? What if my anxiety comes back? Does that mean I'm not enough again? It's just more measurement. It's the engineer back again, but this time he's swapped his wrench for a report card. And you're still failing. Here is the truth that cuts deeper, the one that actually sets you free. It's not that you are enough, it's that the entire scale of enough and not enough is the illusion. You are not a grade. You are not a score. You are a process. You are an activity. You are the weather. You don't look at a hurricane and say it's not enough of a hurricane. You don't look at a rainstorm and give it a C. It just is. And you just are. Your anxiety isn't a bug in the software. It's a feature of being a highly intelligent, complex, sensitive human being. Your brain's job is to think, to plan, to anticipate. And sometimes that feature gets turned up too loud. That's all. You are not a broken machine. You are a functioning organism. So this is it. This is the final permission. You can stop the war. You don't have to win it. You just have to stop fighting it. You are hereby, officially, allowed to be a messy, noisy, complicated, anxious, brilliant human being. You are allowed to have a brain that screams at you at 3 a.m. You don't even have to stop trying. You just have to see that you're trying. And to see that that's okay too. The fixer is just part of the noise. Let him be noisy. The war is over, mate. You can drop the wrench. All right. If that reframe, that shift in perspective just gave you even a little bit of breathing room, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It's not for my ego. It's a signal. It's a flare. It tells me that this is what we're here for, digging into the real stuff, not just the poetic fluff. That this is the right track. And finally, if you've got a mate, another overthinker in your life, who you know is just exhausted, who is sick and tired of being told to just relax or love themselves more, share this video with them. This might just be the exact permission slip they've been needing to hear. Thanks for digging deep with me. See you around.